Chinese medicine has ancient roots, but like everything in China, it is changing fast. The change has triggered intense debate that penetrates the very soul of this civilization.
You've come down with the disease, and you have no other choice but to fight it. What else can you do? But I really feel very, very bitter.
Lu Bin has cancer. Her mother helps her prepare for treatment. Her story helps reveal what Chinese people think about their health and bodies.
This disease is a killer. We must conquer cancer. That is the great hope for all cancer patients.
I hope that Chinese medicine will one day produce a miracle. I really hope that Dr. Liu will cure my disease.
Dr. Liu Luming is a cancer specialist. He graduated first in Chinese and then in Western medicine. This combined approach has strong official support.
The tube enters from the left side of the patient's femoral artery. Then it goes into another artery on the right side. This is a cooling and detoxifying Chinese drug. We can use it alongside the anti-cancer drug and energy-enhancing medicine.
The Chinese choose the healthcare they think best for a particular illness, from Western medicine, Chinese medicine, or a combination of both. Millions of Chinese use all three. Dr. Liu is one of two men who play a key role in Lu Bin's story. The other has 50 years business experience in Chinese medicine. Fang Ganxiang describes himself as one of China's leading entrepreneurs.
Our
cut this very thin. Look, it's almost transparent. The right cut is vital for the medicinal effect.
In this pharmacy, called Huqin Yutang, Mr. Fang loves to show off what he learned here as an apprentice.
We used to use over 2,000 different herbs, but now we only use 1,500. This is Bo He, which cures colds. This is Jinggang. They're both good for colds, so we keep them together.
Mr. Fang and Dr. Liu both believe that new versions of ancient medicines can help cure patients of cancer.
I am confident. A while ago I had a talk with Dr. Liu. So far I've undergone 11 of these treatments, and my immunity functions are weakening. Dr. Liu checked me for this, and he agrees on the point. So he'll probably give me some Chinese medicine to improve things.
To understand how Lu Bin's cancer will be treated, we must travel across China and go back in time. Chinese medicine has a rich history of theory and practical therapy. This goes back over 2,000 years. In the last century, Western medicine spread throughout China. But how is Chinese medicine evolving today? Thousands of students study Chinese medicine. Today, the classroom is Mount Umei in southwestern China. This is one of the great natural botanical gardens of the world, with over 1,000 plant species. Chinese medicine uses plant, animal, and mineral ingredients, but plants have always dominated.
These herbs are quite widely used in Chinese medicine. These ones help prevent aging. Actually, they're only found in this region.
But as well as learning to recognize medicinal plants, these students will have to absorb a great deal of ancient theory about the human body. A few hours from Mount Umei is the Chinese Medicine University in Chengdu. It's part of a national network with a state-approved curriculum.
This is the Yellow Emperor's inner canon. It's the original source of today's traditional Chinese medicine.
The Yellow Emperor is a figure of ancient legend, but the book that bears his name was certainly compiled by Chinese doctors who lived 2,000 years ago.
Now, let's look at this bronze figure over here, marked with acupuncture points.
Figures like this have been used in teaching for 900 years. In acupuncture, fine needles are inserted into carefully selected positions. This modifies flows of energy, called qi.
365 acupoints were drilled into the model, the holes were covered in wax, and the model was filled with water. When you inserted the needle into the model, if the right acupoints were found, water would come out of it.
Qi is spread throughout the body. Qi makes the body function, and if its channels are not kept free by use of acupuncture, pain can follow.
Toothache is caused by poor circulation. The energy channel starts from the hand and is connected to the bottom left tooth. When the energy cannot get through, then there is pain.
Chinese and Western massage are two different things. Chinese massage has a theoretical basis. You have to massage according to the energy channels and acupoints. The approach is holistic, whereas Western massage is only for relaxation. Of course, Chinese massage can be used for relaxation, but it also cures various illnesses, such as those relating to traumatology, internal medicine, gynecology, and pediatrics.
It's quite amazing that we can cure illnesses through our hands. Yeah, so I'm very into this profession.
About 16 clinical methods are normally employed. These are pushing, catching, pressing, palpating, kneading, rolling, shooting, spot grinding.
The method I am now using is called the three-fire method. It's very efficient. Find the acupoint and cover it.
Like massage and acupuncture, heat treatment controls the flow of qi around the body. As these students learn, qi circulates around the body continually. It links together all of its functioning systems. The student day begins with compulsory exercise. When it's done properly, it's said that you feel the qi moving. These drawings from a tomb sealed 2,170 years ago show Qigong in action. That is, exercises designed to make qi move to where it should be. In Chinese medicine, what matters is not what the body is made of, but how its whole system works in harmony. The concept of yin and yang is crucial to the understanding of relationships in the body. Yang is active, yin is passive. Outside China, yin and yang may seem mystical, as there are no satisfactory matching words in Western vocabulary.
I think Chinese and Western people have very different views about the body. We stress the need to view the body as a whole, with balance between yin and yang. This is like the idea of harmony between heaven and earth.
Once you grasp this basic point about yin and yang, you can grasp traditional Chinese medicine very well. If there is a disease of a yin nature, we will treat it with a medicine of a yang nature. If there is a disease of a yang nature, we will treat with a yin medicine.
Yin-yang theory, for Dr. Liu, is a practical guide to how the body functions, even in the most serious diseases. But how does Chinese medicine treat life-threatening illness? In March 1997, Lu Bin developed cancer of the uterus.
When I come home from hospital, I feel very tired because of the chemotherapy. Sometimes I feel very depressed when I see other people going to work, so full of life. I feel very unhappy. I cry a lot. I have considered doing Qigong or other forms of exercise, but I feel too tired each month after hospital.
Lu Bin first had Western treatment. Twice she had surgery to remove spreading tumors, followed by chemotherapy. Lu Bin has chosen a hospital in her home city of Hangzhou, on China's east coast. It has a reputation for using a combination of Western and Chinese medicine. Dr. Liu heads the cancer department.
Personally, I think both Chinese and Western medicines have their own advantages. But combining both methods in treating diseases is the path we should take in China.
In China, healthcare has always been consumer-led. Lu Bin wants more than Western chemotherapy. This causes hair loss and greatly weakens her body. But what kind of Chinese treatment could be given?
I accept all methods used in Chinese medicine. Acupuncture, massage, herbal medicine, qigong, and other exercises. I accept them all. I think these methods are all applicable. But over several thousand years of Chinese medicine, I certainly think taking herbal medicine is the most important. Hello, Liu Bin. You're back with us?
Back indeed. I have no other choice.
Don't worry. You'll be all right. You have my word for it.
Then I have confidence, if you say so. I am so frightened of the chemical treatment. It's a nightmare. Just thinking about it makes me cry. Can you give me more Chinese medicine instead?
Are you willing to take it for a long time?
Yes, of course. I don't care how bitter it is.
Well, how about taking it for 5 years?
I will take it for 10 years or 20 years if I can live that long.
After taking Chinese medicine, you will feel better, sleep better, and eat more.
That's what I want, to be fatter and get stronger.
And you will follow my instructions?
She knows she must, but she's in such a bad state.
You must understand how I feel.
Yes, we do, but you must be confident. You're here now, so have a good stay.
I will.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you heard what the doctor said. You must be confident. Don't keep on crying. Just think about eating well. You will never recover if you don't eat and sleep well. Am I right?
Dr. Liu encourages his patients to exercise.
Qigong and traditional Chinese medicine treatments are closely related. Doing Qigong here, I can breathe fresh air and strengthen my body. The blood circulation improves, helping me to absorb the medicine and making it more effective.
But how does Chinese medicine tell Dr. Liu what is going on inside their bodies? Ancient thinking at the heart of China's culture says that each human body is the world in miniature. The world was explained through the interaction of the 5 phases: water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. For instance, just as wood can grow from water, fire can destroy wood, and so on in a cycle. In the body, each organ corresponds to a phase. The heart, for instance, is fire, the lungs, metal. Because fire can overcome metal in the natural world by melting, a doctor who sees a patient with a heart problem learns to watch out for lung troubles to follow. Dr. Liu combines this thinking with Western medical scanning tools, which actually show the organs. His approach draws on both disciplines.
The advantage of Chinese medicine is its holistic approach, through following the ideas behind yin-yang and 5-phase theory. Obviously, these theories have their advantages and limitations. Why do I say this? Because in illness like cancer, Western medicine is limited to surgery, chemotherapy, and scanning treatment. But Chinese medicine looks at balancing and strengthening the whole body. I don't think that Western medicine is at odds with this concept. It's like boosting the immune system. In this field of treating cancer, which I specialize in, I mix Western and Chinese medicine. In treating pancreatic cancer, we have indeed achieved excellent results and cures.
Dr. Liu stresses his theories to student doctors and a patient recovering from stomach cancer.
Now, our main job is to help him improve his physique and strengthen his resistance ability. He's been through a year, and overall his recovery is satisfactory.
Dr. Liu strengthens patients to overcome cancer with Chinese medicines. These are dispensed from the hospital pharmacy in a centuries-old way. The ingredients are boiled at home.
I've had chemotherapy treatment 10 times. Without the counterbalance of herbal medicine, I would have been depressed and lacking energy. When I take a walk outside now, people don't see me as a cancer patient. When people learn what I've been through, they say I look like a normal, healthy man.
Come on, tell me again why you want to study medicine. You know medicine is hard work.
Yes, but every job is hard work.
Well, no matter. If you want to study medicine, you must aim very high to prepare for sitting your exams.
Preparations, preparations.
Dr. Liu's daughter is 17. He is so busy, these shared moments are rare. She was astonished to learn how he started as one of Mao's barefoot doctors, ordered into the countryside to serve the peasants.
When I was your age, I became a barefoot doctor. It was during the Cultural Revolution. Those days in the countryside, they were short of doctors, and we had very limited medical supplies.
Why didn't they find a real doctor?
There were none. So the barefoot doctor may be defined as someone who only had very little training or was self-trained. I was one of those people. Your grandmother taught me and gave me some books. Those days I looked after 4 villages with about 1,000 people. I saved many people's lives.
Dad, it's impossible to imagine that at my age you could look after all those people in the village. How did you do it?
Now when I think about it, I find it amazing too. It seems impossible to do that at your age. But at that time, under the special circumstances, we had to do it. Those days I had to climb one hill after another, even in the middle of the night, night after night.
Weren't you afraid?
Of course I was, but there was no alternative. The problem was shortage of doctors and medicines. There was one doctor for several thousands of people. The reason I became a doctor was because of a little child, a neighbor of mine. He was only 3 years old then. He had diarrhea for 3 days without treatment and died. That had a huge impact on my life, because if I could have treated him, he wouldn't have died.
Every civilization in the world used to have its traditional medicine based on natural life. But only the Chinese have retained this knowledge, helped by state support.
When I was young, your grandmother used to bring me here to pick medicinal herbs. There are a lot of them. Let me show you.
Understanding how Dr. Liu treats patients like Lu Bin with Chinese medicine means reaching deep into nature. This data bank of natural life is at the heart of Chengdu Chinese Medicine University. The hall contains over 3,000 specimens. Professor Zhou Guanchuen is an eminent pharmacologist.
Today, I am going to talk about the different types of Chinese medicines. They come from mineral, animal, and plant sources.
Many ingredients look similar. Some are toxic, some are not. Knowledge of the difference is clearly vital.
In the past 20 years, a lot of effort has been put into animal conservation. So we use animal-related medicines much less these days.
Where each herb is grown and the season in which it's picked can have significant impact upon its medicinal qualities.
Now, when you identify the ginseng, there are 3 things to pay attention to. First, look at the head and the holes in them.
Ginseng roots, for example, can be very costly. So, knowledge of what can be passed as a fake in Chinese medicine is crucial. Also, the number of medicines is astonishing. Over 10,000 are recorded, of which 800 are in regular daily use. The scale of Chinese medicine can be seen in this vast market of ingredients.
This one is wild ginger. It's good for getting rid of indigestion and also arthritis caused by dampness.
Many of these ingredients will be combined in a single prescription. A main ingredient may have 4 or 5 added to support or counteract side effects. Care and skill are needed, as some act powerfully. It is a myth that Chinese medicines have no side effects. As China prospered in the last 20 years, this is now big business. The 2,000 stalls sell to buyers from across China. 1,100 miles east, one customer is the Huqin Yutang pharmacy in Hangzhou. The boss is Mr. Feng. Mr. Feng enjoys reminding his son about the rigors of his apprenticeship.
When I entered here at 14 years old, our master was sitting there and I had to go down on my knees and kowtow to him 3 times. Afterwards, our master started to discipline me with moral lessons.
This reads, integrity and quality above all.
This is the pharmacy's old name board. Look here, this is my name. And this one is your grandfather's name. Back then, there were 118 people. And now, there's only 17 still alive.
Mr. Fang has overwhelming enthusiasm, which he shares with anyone who'll listen.
In China, for thousands of years, there have been numerous ways to grind medicine. Some medicine was ground by stone mill, some by hand, and for really fine powder, this tool was used. After making balls, they're ready to be dried. This is the traditional way of making Chinese medicine.
These boards are advertisements.
This one is Zhuo Fang Jie Shui Dan. It has a long history of over 300 years, and doctors still prescribe it nowadays. This medicine's especially effective in curing high temperatures in children.
This is all state-owned property. Mr. Fang is a loyal Communist Party member. But now in free market China, Mr. Fang has seized the chance of making huge profits. This leaves only a minor role for the ancient Huqing Yutang pharmacy. But many people still turn to pharmacies like these for their basic health needs. These three doctors consult here. They're related: son, grandson, and grandfather. Family apprenticeship used to be the way to become a doctor. Dr. Jiang still likes to teach by example, but only when his grandson is not at college. Six days a week, the pharmacy opens for business. Patients pay just under $1 for a consultation. Many patients prefer old doctors who have knowledge absorbed over many years. But how do Chinese doctors examine patients? There is an ancient saying: the tongue is the mirror of the inner organ systems.
The proper analysis of tongues covers the shape, the color, the coat, and the moisture of the tongue.
Professor Jiang Jiaxi teaches at the Chengdu University. He claims that from examining the tongue, there are 360 different ways of assessing a patient's health. Looking at the patient, and particularly at the patient's tongue, is one of the 4 diagnostic checks used. Less obvious are smelling and listening to the patient. Taking the pulse seems quite straightforward, but is very different from the simple counting beats per minute in Western medicine.
According to books on the pulse by ancient experts, there are 36 types of pulse measurement.
The final diagnostic step is talking to the patient. Chinese doctors have been diagnosing like this for centuries. This child has asthma.
He has a tongue coating, he has spleen and energy deficiency.
Well, at first he was treated with Western medicine in the hospital. They tried everything. After that, I asked for him to be discharged and came to try Chinese medicine.
Western medicine isn't bitter, but I didn't get well. Chinese medicines taste bitter, but they work.
Not everybody in China believes in Chinese medicine. Many use only Western medicine. But taken over a whole lifetime, many will use both. However, nearly all have a holistic approach to healthcare. Zhang Julian is in his 70s. He's lived with cancer for over 10 years. Mr. Jiang is convinced that he's conquered the disease by combining his lifestyle with traditional Chinese medicine. Every day, rain or shine, he runs. Every week, he joins in singing at a club for retired officials. Daily, he practices calligraphy.
I am calm when I do calligraphy. I am active when I sing and dance. The combination of the two helps me to maintain my vitality. When I am doing them, I easily forget my discomforts and pain.
Doctors using Western medicine removed 4/5 of Mr. Jiang's stomach to rid him of cancer tumors. But the tumors came back in 1994. He could not face chemotherapy, so he turned to the Huqing Yutang pharmacy.
People told me that Chinese medicine can help control the spread of malignant chronic tumors. I was fortunate to find Dr. Shui Meng, who is a famous expert. He said some Chinese medicine would do me good. Then I became a regular patient here. After 3 years, when Western doctors examined me, they found that the tumors had withered, almost vanished.
Basically, your digestion function has resumed. Your recovery is remarkable.
Prescriptions are adjusted weekly. Doctors view the body of each patient as unique, so similar symptoms might be treated differently to restore balance in each person's body.
If I don't keep taking the medicine, it will not be so effective. So I have to come here regularly, whatever the weather.
But what does Dr. Shui Meng prescribe to treat the cancer?
This is the root of astragalus. It can improve the immune system. And this is Chinese herbaceous peony. This one is good at enriching the blood. I discovered this prescription. In the past, many stomach cancer patients suffered from pain. This was from a country doctor's recipe, and it is a good painkiller.
Chinese doctors have always kept written records. Over time, they built up immense experience of what worked and what did not.
In Chinese medicine, our approach to treating cancer is not limited to the area where the cancer cells are found. Unlike Western medicine, Chinese medicine doesn't concentrate on the sick area. Instead, it puts emphasis on the whole body. It seeks to give a balance to the whole body, curing the disease in the process.
Dr. Shui's prescription contains over 11 different items, including a mineral.
We have a saying that if you are a patient a long time, you will gradually become a doctor. Due to all the trips to and from the pharmacy, I know the characteristics of all the herbs.
Dedicated consumers have transformed Chinese medicine into a billion-dollar industry. There is a huge demand for anything that promotes longer life or sexual vigor.
I have witnessed the advancement of this industry, and it has leapt forward since the 1990s. I have been in this business for over 50 years, and I've changed my status from an apprentice to director of an entire group of pharmacies. Chinese medicine has evolved over thousands of years, and it's quite impossible to follow traditional methods all the time. So we were determined to develop this small pharmacy into the biggest pharmacy in China.
Mr. Fang's ambitions are reflected in the entrance to the Qingchuanbao factory. The name suggests youth and virility. This factory is state-owned, but has been built from the profits of enterprise. 1/3 of the year, Mr. Fang is overseas. Now, foreigners like these Romanians flock to him. Selling is his life.
This is our current range of medicine. There are over 100 types of medicine. Now this is our most famous medicine, Youth Treasure. We sell it in over 40 countries. After taking this medicine, you'll be vigorous and virile. Even 16 hours after taking this medicine, you'll still feel energized.
Despite the focus on sex aids, Mr. Fang is convinced he can make Chinese medicines to tackle the most dreaded diseases, such as cancer.
Chinese medicine of the past looked and tasted horrible. Now, we can transform it into pills, capsules, and tablets. Patients can get the benefit of easily taken medication, quick cures, and no side effects. It's completely different from Western medicine. The raw materials are all Chinese herbs. And when it's off the production line, it's still Chinese medicine, but it has been modernized.
Modernization has led to Chinese medicine being given through intravenous drip, direct into the bloodstream. The technique is now widespread. Dr. Liu has combined the modern with the ancient. He's found a 700-year-old recipe called Shen Mai. It has 2 herbs, one of which is ginseng. He claims this medicine is ideal for strengthening his cancer patients.
When we prescribe Shen Mai as an intravenous drug, we found it suitable for patients with a yin deficiency in qi energy. People were using Shen Mai injections to treat heart disease, but actually it can be used for many diseases.
This flexibility is common in Chinese medicine. Dr. Liu discovered that changing the dosage of Shen Mai helped his cancer patients.
This time I feel terribly bad.
Please don't worry. Now we'll be using different medicine. The cancer has already spread. Our treatment is based on chemotherapy, but it is complemented by Chinese medicine, including Shen Mai.
The challenge to overcome Lu Bin's cancer unites Dr. Liu and Mr. Fang. It is Mr. Fang's company that makes Shen Mai.
Let me introduce you to Dr. Liu, who's a professor from the most prestigious medical institute in Zhejiang province. Today, he's going to report on his research with Shen Mai.
Mr. Feng and his board take Dr. Liu very seriously. His research has helped make Shen Mai popular across China.
This is what we have discovered with the preparation. It prevents the tumor cells from growing without affecting the normal function of the body. We had a patient called Zhang Shuguang, the wife of the provincial secretary. She had a tumor and chemotherapy.
As Shen Mai was well established as a heart drug made by Qingchuan Bao, Dr. Liu gets no personal financial benefit. But this has not held back his enthusiasm. So far, he's tested Shen Mai on over 200 cancer patients.
On the basis of our experience, we developed Shen Mai as an intravenous injection and followed this up with a great deal of clinical experimentation. Through this, we found that Shen Mai has a significant effect in treating tumors.
Lu Bin fervently believes that Chinese medicine will help her. But is this approach really Chinese medicine, with the combination of Shen Mai and Western treatment? Across China, there is strong disagreement about the broad principle of combined treatment.
This combination is still not a systematic science. They have not produced any successful results. The effects of pure Chinese medicine are better. You cannot combine Chinese and Western medicine. They are two totally different systems. Totally different systems.
Lu Binghui became a doctor in 1934. He rose to be the top official in charge of Chinese medicine in China. Despite his strongly held views about pure Chinese medicine, he argues for equal support for all approaches to medicine.
In 1978, I put forward that we should have 3 equal ways: Chinese medicine, Western medicine, and a combination of the two. All these 3 should go forward equally, without any method being favored over any other. I wrote a letter to Chairman Mao in 1958 to suggest this, and the letter was later published in the People's Daily. Mao responded saying that Chinese medicine is a great treasure of the nation and should be encouraged.
This treasure of the nation reaches into every aspect of Chinese culture, from food to philosophy. Pure Chinese medicine used to take years of apprenticeship to learn, as the Zheng family of doctors knows from experience.
There
are now more choices of profession, so young people may not choose to practice medicine. Also, now that teaching is conducted in the classroom, there is the problem as to whether the traditional ways of teaching can be passed on.
The problem in Chinese medicine is that only the old doctors understand the basic principles. The young ones, just out of college, they don't really understand.
We, the older generation of Chinese doctors, are worried about the future of Chinese medicine. We're concerned that students might be incapable of managing their studies. Teaching is one thing, learning is quite another.
So, just how is Chinese medicine taught today? In the university in Chengdu, there still seems plenty of emphasis on learning the ancient theories.
This classic book was written in the Ming Dynasty. The writer, Li Shizhen, collected and studied over 1,800 herbs.
Li Shizhen started in 1553 and wrote over 1 million words. It is just one of over 10,000 old texts now being examined for new remedies. The illustrations emphasize the deep knowledge of natural life that Chinese medicine uses for its treatments. Well into the night, the university reading rooms are still full. But absorbing Chinese medicine is just one part of the curriculum. Each student spends fully 1/3 of their time studying Western medicine. This combined curriculum alarms the old doctors.
In university, students might pay excessive attention to Western medicine simply because they find Chinese medicine difficult.
I thought each medical approach could develop separately and not interfere with each other. Each could go their own way. Now, thinking back, we didn't emphasize this enough. Now, Western medicine is in power, and together with the combination method, it has swept pure Chinese medicine to one side.
Some say drugs like shanmai, made in modern plants, are not Chinese medicine. Some argue only the traditional boiled mixture works properly, such as Lubin is taking here.
Is it bitter? This is quite sweet. Usually it can be very bitter.
Yes, good medicine often tastes bitter.
But after reviewing Lubin's case with colleagues, Dr. Liu is not happy.
The illness is now rather severe. It has entered the later stage. There has been some progress after the treatment, but on the whole, the situation is not too optimistic.
She really suffers a lot. I wonder if we parents are too cold-hearted by constantly urging her to be brave, be brave. In fact, we have no other choice.
Nonetheless, Mr. Feng and his board have no doubts about the treatment. Indeed, they've embarked on a very costly investment. They want to get shanmai licensed by the United States Food and Drug Administration for use in the USA.
In the 21st century, as suggested by a leading American cancer expert, the hope to cure cancer will lie in Chinese medicine. I believe this hope will be realized in the near future.
But if these hopes are realized, they will come too late for one person. April the 28th, 1999. The burial place of our beloved daughter, Lubin.
For a mother, this kind of emotion is beyond description. For a person of the age to have white hair, to have to say farewell to a young, black-haired person.
In the case of Lu Bin, it shows that we still need to make great efforts. We used Chinese with Western medicine to try and treat the tumor, but in the end we failed to cure it. For her, we failed to conquer this tough disease.
Has this tragedy shaken the faith of Lu Bin's mother in Chinese medicine?
No. I think that Chinese medicine has very great potential.
The sad death of one person should not provide a vehicle for judging Chinese medicine. In life, Lu Bin helped reveal that the future of Chinese medicine is as much about China's changing culture as its healthcare. The debate will go on.